All right, the EIDL grant. This is a big update for Saturday afternoon, giving you a lot of great new details that you're only going to hear here. As you know, we've been reporting on the EIDL grant every single day this week. This is our second week of reporting for you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. So here are the big new details for today. First, why are credit background checks being processed by SBA, and how can that be helpful for you knowing when your check is coming? We now know why SBA is doing credit checks. It's generally to just verify the identity of the applicant. There is no current policy or protocol that has been confirmed by SBA that is denying applicants a request for EIDL grants based upon a credit history. Basically, if you have bad credit, they run your credit check. Don't think that the running of your credit check is the reason why you have not received your EIDL check. But there's good news with that too. The good news we now know is that SBA is indicating to a lot of our viewers, including perhaps you, that when they run the credit check, your payment is to be received within 3 to 7 business days thereafter. So that's good news. If you are one of those individuals that has an app or an application that gives you an alert that a credit check has been run on your name by SBA, don't think that's bad. That is a good indicator. It basically means that your check should be coming 5 to 7 business days thereafter. Now, there's two things to consider about that. One is 5 to 7 days is sort of a vague number as to being sent. In some cases, there could be delayed based upon the processing time of direct deposits by your bank. Some individual banks process direct deposits very quickly. Literally the next day, you'll see it pending. For some EIDL grant recipients, they never see it pending. It literally just shows up as available funds the next day in a direct deposit, which is quite fascinating. Usually when you get direct deposit, it appears as a pending, and the next day it's processed. Now, the other thing to consider is that some banks just generally process direct deposits from SBA a little bit slower. So that 5 to 7 days is a little murky because you got to add a few days to it for your bank's processing. This is what I advise here. If you see a credit check has been done on you by SBA and 5 to 7 business days has passed and you have not received payment, 5 to 7 business days has passed and you have not received payment, pick up the phone and call SBA, because there could be an issue. And I'll tell you, there's two possible issues, one of which actually none of which is bad credit. The issues are either one, there's a problem with the routing number that you provided, or two, there's a problem with the checking account or savings account number that you provided. Trust me, and one of the common errors that a lot of people do is that when they provide the routing number of their checking account to SBA, of their savings account, they think it's the same routing number as their checking account. Banks have different routing numbers for different financial instruments. A checking account, a savings account, all these different types of accounts have different routing numbers, and they're very different. So even a one-digit error, or even typing in the number incorrectly if you did it in a fast fashion when you originally submitted your EIDL grant application, could cause an error. Bottom line, if you see a credit check that has been run by SBA, good sign. It means that they're about to process your payment. But if 5 to 7 business days have passed and you have not received that payment, call them on the phone. Tell them, hey, you know, and you've heard that running a credit check means that the payment is on the way. They will indicate to you when the payment was dropped, and they will also probably say the same thing I'm going to say to you, that if you do not get it by the 7th or 8th business day, call us back and we will figure out where it is. All right, a lot of other questions have come from you about EIDL grant checks. First of all, some of this is repetitious, some of it's new. Some of you, even today on Saturday, are still asking that same question. You got $1,000, you got $2,000. Can you get the other $8,000 because you understood it was supposed to be 10? Nope, it's done. It's done. The ship has sailed. No more. That is it. If whatever you put on that SBA application, the number of employees, they are paying you based upon the number of employees you represented. If you put 0, they're paying you 1. aka $1,000. If you put 8 employees, you're getting $8,000, and if you put 20 employees, you're getting $10,000. There is no way to change it. You ain't getting the rest of the money. So a lot of you are asking, you got 4,000, can you get the other $6,000? No. Next, a lot of you are asking, why is this happening? Yes, as I've indicated to you before, it's a digression by SBA that is not in accordance with the CARES Act. The CARES Act said to pay every business $10,000 requested. You requested $10,000, and yet they're not following that policy. They are diluting it, rationing it, whatever verb you want to use, paying it based on the number of employees. The good news is people are getting the checks. There is nothing else that they're doing. They're not asking for paperwork. Now, here's another thing I'm going to throw in there. There's some of you, very finite of you, that are dropping into comments here on Twitter, on other places on social media, talking about paperwork and loan applications for EIDL. Stop it. EIDL refers to the grant. EIDL was an acronym created for the grant. The SBA loan is the SBA loan. It is a different instrument. And so please don't jump into threads about the EIDL grant for $10,000 and confuse people into thinking that they were supposed to process loan information. It is that's another instrument and another time. All right. Background, as some of you know, but I'll add it again, that the EIDL grant window is closed. They're not accepting new applications. So some of you said, can you get another corporation its money? Nope. Window is closed around mid-April. All right. Another new point. This whole issue about when the EIDL form changed, you know it better than I do. Some of you said it was March 30th. Some of you said it was March 29th. Basically, if when you went and applied for the EIDL grant and the last page had that button that said, do you want $10,000 or more? You went up to $10,000 and you push that button, you are good. Rest assured, you are good. So, if you didn't have that button and you didn't reapply, you're screwed. The EIDL form that did not have that button, that was pre-March 29th, March 28th, March 27th, there's a confusion about what date that form changed, but if you applied on the old form, you didn't apply on the new form, you're screwed. There was a requirement for people that no one put out that requirement publicly so people would know to reapply on the new form. So, and a lot of people have asked that in another regards. They have asked, okay, I applied on the new form and yet I've not gotten paid. All right. Lastly, a lot of you have used a comparison analysis, which, we all do it. You say, my friend did this and I did that, and how come them and how come me? Please try not to do that, and I'll tell you why. There was a lot of comments. I love your comments. Keep them coming, and I'm here to help you, and I'm answering them within about 4-hour time. But there's a lot of comments that said, I applied on April 14th, and my buddy applied the same day, and he got paid on last Friday. I haven't heard anything else yet. What's going on? Please just don't do that. And I'll tell you why. There's a lot of other things that are involved with the SBA. I actually was in a little, not a spat, but a chitter-chatter with someone on Twitter yesterday about the EIDL grant numbers. They were talking about the number of the confirmation number. And someone say, oh, they're sequential. They go in order. No, they actually do not go sequential. They do not go sequential. Then they were talking about, oh, I heard all the numbers that started with this were done first, and all the numbers that started with that went thereafter. I said, also not true. I'll throw you back the comments. I have people, and I know their confirmation numbers when they got paid and when they applied, and the numbers are not sequential. How did they generate these numbers for these confirmation orders? I don't know. It's SBA, but please don't sit back and say your number for confirmation was lower than your friend's number and hence you're first, and those numbers are for the... It is a mess with those numbers. I think, but I don't know, I think that those numbers are just sort of randomly generated because I know businesses that were in the same state that applied within minutes of each other, and there's thousands of points off, and they went up and down. So one that applied at 9 o'clock got one number, and another one at 10 o'clock got a higher number, but then the one at 11 o'clock got the lowest number. So just don't do that. Moreover, the other thing to consider when you're comparing yourself to your buddy that applied on the same day is that these banks process direct deposits in different ways. Some do them very, very, very fast. Others just lag. They're just slow. So if your buddy's not the same bank as you, that could be an issue. The good news, and the new news that we know as of today, Saturday, because I'm updating you about EIDL grants as soon as I hear the information, is that if you have the worst darn credit in the world, there is currently no indication from the protocol of SBA and based upon his statements to viewers like you that grants are not being paid based upon bad credit. And you know why? It makes sense that it should not happen because the businesses that applied are EINs. They have their own EIN. And if the individual that applies for the grant, puts in their social security number and that individual has bad credit, that's not a reason to deny the grant to the EIN because the applicant has a bad credit background, whether or not you're the CEO of the business. So that's the good news. As we indicated on Friday, there's a couple of great things happening for the EIDL grant. And, honestly, to tell you the truth, about 2 weeks ago, a lot of you thought this was never happening. A lot of you thought this money was never coming, that it was just, you had written off and forgotten and thought, hey, it's just never coming. Friday, May 1st, was literally a drop of a magnitude no one had ever heard of. Days before, the whole flavor was coming out of SBA was, they're sending correspondence letters and telling you your check's on the way and you got this and that. No. Suddenly May 1st, Friday, people just woke up and found all these big deposits across the country showing up from $1,000 to $10,000 in people's accounts with no prior notification. In fact, this YouTube channel is only a week old, but LALATE's been reporting on EIDL grants since early April. And at that point, we were reporting based upon what SBA told us during interviews that checks might come in June, that it was that backed up. So I have no idea what happened. I really have no idea what happened, but bless those souls at SBA. Someone kicked someone or pushed someone or overstaffed it and got a lot of stuff processed in a very quick period of time. Because the backlog was basically about 4 weeks. People in early April got payments about 2 weeks ago before this video was recorded. And that people that applied in about April 7th to April 16th are getting payments now the last week of April or this first week of May. So if you're watching this video or you watch the video on Friday, which is sort of continuation of this one, and you say, hey, I hear about all these people getting big payments on Friday, May 1st. I didn't get my payment. Where's my check? Where's my money? Give it time. That's what we're dropping in all responses and to your comments. Give it time. If you don't see your check by next Friday, this is May 2nd. If you don't see your check by next Friday, cause for alarm. If you don't see it by next Wednesday, start to get a little bit concerned. But if you want to be more diligent about it, and hey, it doesn't take much time to get SBA on the phone. They answer very, very quickly. I mean, this video's 10 minutes. You can probably get them on the phone within 5 minutes now because they are very responsive. Call them up, and especially if you know that what date they did a credit check on you, call them up and say, hey, I applied this date, I did a credit check, you did a credit check this date, and XYZ. Moreover, also great news. So our tips apparently are also working that we've told you about. We had told you, this is day 8 of this new YouTube channel. I think we told you on day 1 that if your EIDL grant was filed by you 4 weeks or more ago, then when you call SBA, tell the first person who answers the phone, hi, if it's true, I filed my EIDL grant, it's been more than 4 weeks and XYZ. That 4 weeks will get you transferred to another department. We've been telling you that every single video ever since about 7 days ago when we started this. And your comments have indicated that you have done that and it's worked, that you did get transferred to an escalation department. That escalation department was able to, of course, not work on your file, but tell you where your file is. And the general comments that you've given is that either they said it was being processed or a credit check was run, or in fact, they actually told you when you're going to get the payment. Some comments actually said, yeah, we see your file. We have processed it. We did do a credit check. You should see payments 4 to 7 days from the date of this conversation on the telephone. Great. Our tip is helping. We are here to assist you, and you are to assist us. Whatever information you give us, because you're dropping a lot of great comments, we are just filtering through them, getting them together, and then delivering them back to everyone else here on this channel on a daily basis. I mean, your comments, we're getting back to you about within every 4 hours, but your comments are several hundred comments a day, 500 comments a day, 600 comments a day, which is great for a 1-week-old YouTube channel. And, we are filtering through them and giving them back to everyone else, because when you hear a lot of things happening that are repetitive, then that's the situation. And trust me, that's the beauty of a channel like this. There was someone on Twitter that was in sort of like a little spat with me yesterday, saying, I've heard no one got EIDL checks, and I've heard no one, and I heard everything's backed up. I'm like, get off of Twitter. Get off of Twitter and get onto this channel, because we got a whole group of people that are telling us, and someone actually mentioned, it was a great comment someone wrote, I can't remember who it was. If you're watching, thank you. You wrote, everyone who got an EIDL check, and you write in the comments, say the day you applied. So if you're watching this video, you applied for an EIDL grant, and you have a comment one way or the other, whether you got your payment or you didn't, say, hey, I applied on this day. If you know the day you did there was a credit check, put it in the comment and say what date you got paid or whether you've not been paid. And that sort of helps a lot of other people, because it is a guidance as to what's going on. I'll lastly throw in, but it is uncertain whether it's a big issue, that it appeared initially that SBA was processing EIDL grants based upon the territory in which your business is located in the United States. So if your business is a Delaware corporation, it had its processing time. If your business was a Texas corporation, it had its processing time. So if you want to, you could drop in your comments that you're dropping into this video what state your business is out of. That might give a little bit more guidance to everyone else about, maybe they're processing Delaware corporations faster than they're processing Washington State corporations. So anyway, this is one of 4 videos today. A lot of great stuff. Also, second stimulus check. New news from the president himself on Friday about a possible second stimulus check. We have a video of that being done today for Saturday. PUA, a video about that. And then another surprise video, a 4th video. As always, drop us your comments. We'll get back to you within 4 hours. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Subscribe because it's your patronage, your information, and you're following us, because when we have updates, and we do have updates, and sometimes they're big updates, you need to be informed about it. And the way you are is when you subscribe, it basically sends you alerts, says, hey, there's a new video posted on Sunday about EIDL grants. It might apply to you. So with that, stay with LA for more.